Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Fire Force Chapter 185. When we last left our heroes, the gang had come into conflict with Gold, the Butcher of the White Clads, and learned their powers involved heating up gold to create magnetism, which led to the gang all stripping because their only metal was their belt buckles. So now everyone's pantsless. Except for Lisa, who's actually joining the fight for, I think, her first time since she's joined the Force. Because her, flame, octopus tentacles, protect her from, magnetism or something. I don't know, but either way, Lisa's now stepping in for, I think, the first time. So I'm really hoping we find out how she joined the Force. Because if I recall correctly, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think there was a gap in seeing her between her being taken or willingly running away. I don't remember which. With Giovanni at the end of the first Nether arc, to her popping up at the end of the versus Holy Salt Temple arc, 60 chapters later, and I don't think we see her between those two time periods. So maybe we'll get a flashback there this chapter now that Lisa's actually doing something. So anyway, let's jump right on in. Chapter 185, Combat Experiment. Our picture is of Lisa with her white-clad code name Feeler here, with a little flame tentacle on her finger. Before a Knight of the Ashen Flame, now helping Company 8, Lisa Isaribe comes. So we open with Victor, who is monologuing about what they're going to use to beat Gold, I reckon. The enemy, Gold, is a 3rd-gen pyrokinetic. Shallow flames won't get through her. Instead of flames to have no effect on her resistance, we'll need the means of attack with the most effect. Lieutenant Hinawa's gun to do the trick for the finishing blow. There's a target just right on the opponent's forehead, but to aim at it, the foe's magnetic force is in the way. So before that, we need to disable the opponent's magnetic force. For example, if you stop the magnetism emitted by the Golden Gauntlet using a ferromagnet. When you say ferromagnet, you mean a material able to block magnetic force, right? Where? I'm glad Vulcan is here to explain all the science stuff for us science plebs. Anyway, all over the place. With iron. We'll wrap up Gold's Golden Gauntlet with iron. But they're manipulating the same iron, and you know that. Isn't it impossible? Normally, that'd be the case. That's why this is a job only the Special Fire Force can do. And with that, we cut back to the mostly pantless crew, and Lisa, staring down Gold and the shield, who is powered by the shield and the Techyos. And one of the butchers says to the other, "How long is Gold going to fool around for? I thought it was time is money, huh? Hurry up and butcher them." They have no more options. It's already over. And she throws the Techyos at them. Fishing fire! And Lisa, throws her tentacles, or launches her tentacles out at the Techyo. And, deflects them. And they kind of, crackle, or the tentacles crackle as they send them, knocking back near Maki. What? A wrong operation. For my magnetism, when the opponent gets used to it, it's over. Vol, we don't have time. Please hurry. Alright, she said last time that her flames give off a little bit of magnetism somehow. I feel like that was just kind of dropped on us, but whatever. And I guess that's kind of disrupting Gold's powers, but she'll get used to it eventually, I think is what she said. Licked. What's the method that only the Special Fire Force can do? I'll give my instructions. First, Tamaki, get your flames ready. And she, readies her tail and ears. She has not gone her full flame cat form from Asakusa yet, so that's a thing to watch out for. What on earth are you planning to make me do? Then Vulcan calls over, Lick, setup is done. I said, what are you doing? Tamaki calling over to Vulcan. Maki-san, leave it to me. We'll begin the cooking. Tamaki, turn your tail into a pot. Wait, so I guess they got all this iron stuff in their hands. Maki and Vulcan do. And I guess Tamaki is going to use her tail to cup that? Does heating up iron reduces magnetism? I don't know anything about how magnetism works. I am a theater major. I do not know anything about science. That's why I'm not reviewing Dr. Stone. Don't drop it. She's got the iron in her tail. What? First, we have to make all this iron melt. My belt? Melt. In Japanese, Tamaki hears the word tetsu, iron, for ketsu, ass. It was changed from melt and belt to preserve the mishearing. Alright, that makes sense. Wait, my flames aren't hot enough to melt iron. In order to melt iron, approximately 2800 Celsius degree heat is necessary. Vulcan, can you do it? Leave it to me. First, the thermite law. Are you ready, Maki-san? Okay. What are you gonna do to my ass? And he throws a little thing in there. This little thing he was holding as he was saying all that earlier. There's this explosion from her tail flames. Nya-boom! And it all explodes. And Maki contains it down into a little, bowl, where all the iron is. The iron is still not melting, though. Or parts of it are, but it's more like red hot, and the, bits are, starting to peel off or something. And Vulcan calls out, the temperature's still not hot enough. And he pulls. I actually saw this panel without context on the subreddit, and he pulls oxygen in a spray bottle onto the flame. What are you doing? It's high concentrated dioxygen used for suction. We'll use it and raise the temperature up to 2800 Celsius like that. And we see the flames getting larger behind her. Stop that! Meanwhile, Gold is just kind of sitting there, right? Watching them mess around with fire and Tamaki's ass. Okay, Gold, whatever. Anyway, Lisa's here and is still kind of staring down Gold. I guess distracting her from the shenanigans going on behind her. You're using magnetic force to hinder me. However, and we cut to one of the Techios, and it smacks her from behind. I'm already used to it. Vol! Not yet? And at that point, Gold finally somehow notices them. What are you all doing so sneakily? Sneakily my ass, Gold! Tamaki glares at her, as I think the iron that her tails were covering has, turned into a ball behind her. What's that? Good going, Lisa. Now go, Tamaki! And Tamaki runs at her, carrying the ball of iron. That's iron, if I'm not mistaken. If it's iron, I can just take it away from you. And she, pauses for a second. Iron, which has exceeded 750 degrees Celsius, can alter properties. And it won't receive the effects of magnetism. So why do they need it all the way to be melted? Why can't they just have it at 750 degrees and then just move on? I don't know. It was still funny and shenanigans. Anyway. And Tamaki runs over at Gold with the ball of iron. And covers her glove with it. So her gold is now unusable. And she just kind of nonchalantly looks at what must be incredible pain. My gauntlet. That's 2800 degrees Celsius iron. I get it. I thought they were... Yeah, I was being stupid. So my first thought was that they were going to use the iron as a weapon to, hit her, because she couldn't use her magnetism on that, but no, they were trying to seal off the gauntlet, and they needed liquids that it would form around the gauntlet. I'm dumb. Anyway, we sealed off your gauntlet. Now you can't use your magnetism. If you think we can be stopped, go ahead and stop us. And Hinoa pulls out his gun and points it at Gold. With a successful plan as a forthcoming chance. In order to rescue Obi, make the decisive gunshot count. Chapter 186, A Chance Meeting with an Old Enemy. And then we have a random factoid page over here. Alright. So, I want to call attention to this last page. Because there's something weird going on here. I think from a narrative perspective, I mean. Is that... So, normally, I would expect, especially because I think this chapter might have been a page or two shorter than usual, that the chapter would end with, Hinoa shooting Gold and ending the fight, you know? It's the finale to the fight. However, it ends on, I guess it's not a cliffhanger, because the odds are so hugely stacked in our hero's favor. But, I'm not sure this is the end. You know? I feel like if Gold fell here, that Hinoa would just shoot her now and be done with it. And I imagine next chapter, or assume next chapter will probably continue this fight, but you never know what that chance meeting is going to be about, which I'll theorize about in a second. Maybe that Gold will like reveal another way she controls magnetism and then like survive that way, and the fight will continue somehow. I'm not sure, but the fact that we don't end with Hinoa just shooting the damn bullet, implies that it's not over yet. Is at least my thoughts. But let me know what y'all think about that. Anyway, the chapter itself, it was wacky hijinks. It was also for, maybe first, Tamaki is like the center of wacky hijinks and is not not Lucky Lecturized at all. It's not like we're not the typical Lucky Lecture experience is the I guess point of the scene being to, I feel like, belittle Tamaki most of the time, and that's very much not what's happening here. Even though Tamaki is very much at the forefront of all of the hijinks. I'm on page 12 right now. Vulcan's fucking face in this picture is still the funniest thing to me. But anyway, yeah, it's just, I don't know, I was not really, expecting it to go like this. If you had told me a Tamaki hijinks chapter, and in the middle of a fight, I'd be like, oh no, it's gonna be like the versus assault fight again, and I never want to deal with that again. But no, it was funny. I do feel like the humor of it maybe, I guess, kind of toned down Gold's threat. Especially because I think, was Gold the one who killed Hog? Or was that another butcher? I'm not sure. If Gold was the one who killed Hog, that's kind of disappointing, because I don't think it is, because the way Hog died is not Gold style. So ignore that one. Either way, chapter was a lot of fun, even if it did kind of make Gold seem less of a big threat. But that's fine. It all worked out in the end, and I'm still not convinced that Gold is done with. And then there's this old enemy. I'm kind of curious. I don't really know who that enemy is going to be. A part of me thinks it's going to be Assault. Because there aren't that many old enemies that are memorable in the slightest that, that are still alive. I mean, maybe Giovanni. But Giovanni has been around enough that I don't know if we can call him an old enemy. Assault might fit the bill really well, and given how much Tamaki's been the focus for a good while now, I can see Assault maybe, changing tack, because last time we saw Assault, he has, some kind of a crush on Tamaki. So Assault might end up assisting the Fire Force. I will say I am disappointed we did not find out, how Lisa joined the Force, because again, her arrival is really random, and has yet to be mentioned. But beyond that, this was a fun chapter, a fun continuation of the Gold fight. I don't think it's gonna be over in the first couple of pages next week. I think it's gonna have some kind of continuation, at least until the end of next chapter. I don't know how far it'll go on beyond that, but who knows. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or do whatever makes you happy. And remember, your life is your own. Okay, bye.